Barton Fink. Is it a real story or a rubbish? You will get these answers. A perfect movie or a failure. But which one is real? We will discover it further in the video. But one thing is certain, it's a strange movie. Hello and welcome, it's Sami. I'm happy to see you here today. Thank you. Today we will review Barton Fink. The Coen brothers are both directing and writing the film. In their previous movie, Miller's Crossing, they had writer's block. They write Barton Fink before they finish Miller's Crossing. Charlie Meadow is the only friend of Barton Fink in Los Angeles. Barton Fink, as a successful Broadway playwright, is called to Hollywood. A new producer asks him to write a B-movie with a wrestling theme. Everything is fine until this moment. But Barton can't write a single page in the strange hotel where he has the room to himself. Later he meets a man in his next room. This friendly and persuasive man is Charlie Meadow. He's an insurance salesperson. Charlie surprises us in later parts of the movie. The movie gets our attention with its storytelling and art direction more than with the story. Many symbolic meanings are hiding in a puzzle. We solve some and some we cannot. It keeps our attention alive during the movie. The characters are interesting, but the characters has cartoonish vibes, so acting performances are making some errors. A drama movie, those who love mystery movies and Coen brothers will like it. I will talk about the subtext of this who watched the movie. The Coen brothers put many references in the screenplay. And these make the movie fancy and complex. The movie tells us the reason with a small hidden reference, because incomprehensible works fascinated people. But it was most likely deliberate that the film was written so complexly. But we can still clearly see the basic structure. The ideas of the famous psychologist Freud were still popular at the time the story was told. We feel the dominance of these ideas. There are three main characters in the movie, except Barton Fink. These characters are Charles, Audrey, and Mayhew. These are the characters that symbolize Freud's definition of subconscious, ego, and superego. First, Charles represents the lower consciousness. The lower consciousness symbolizes animal instinct such as hunger, sexuality. Charles is overweight and he is sleeping with women who are his clients. These are the references. And again, Charles is knocking on Barton's door. And without listening his words, he burst into the room. This is the persistence of the subconscious. Mayhew is representing the superego. The character has lots of similarities to Barton Fink. In fact, he is future Barton. Barton who has accomplished his dreams. Barton has to go across the same roads that Mayhew did reach his dreams. The life should give him a shape. The mosquito symbolized Barton's fear of becoming an exploited Hollywood writer like Mayhew. Audrey is the ego that maintains the balance between subconscious and the superego. This is where the Freud's reality principle comes into play. This principle comprises three basic components: the ego, inner reality and outer reality. Inner reality wants your childish dreams and wishes come true very soon. And outer reality draw the boundaries of the real life. If you want something, you have to play by the rules of real world and get it. Barton is coming to Hollywood. He puts aside his childish dream, writing about the common man. Charles is the common man in the movie. Barton is defending an idea. The art should tell stories about the common people rather than flamboyant celebrities. And he supports the idea with strong speeches, but today he's a Hollywood writer, so he acts like previous speeches never existed. He never mentioned them. It is undoing, which is a defense mechanism described by Freud. Of course, the writer's block starts here. Will he write about the common man or will he write about the B-movie Hollywood wants? Because Charles, his ID, his subconscious, if you look closely, it is the same fluid that is flowing from Charles' ear and the wallpaper in the room. The reality is hidden behind the fancy wallpapers and it wants to reveal itself, but Barton staples them and keeps the reality out of sight. Charles also covers himself. Insurance salesman is his fancy wallpaper. Barton never listens to Charles. The staplings of the wallpaper symbolize the behavior. He ignores the suppressed realities because he went to the Hollywood and gave up his wishes and desires. When the deadline comes for the screenplay, the rope is breaking, the events are hitting. Barton satisfied his sexual instinct by sleeping with Audrey. The balance weight is shifting to sexual element and there is a camera movement through the sink drain. It symbolizes the shifting of the balance. Sexual freedom allows subconscious, the Charles, to play and manipulate. So Charles killed the ego and super ego characters, Audrey and Mayhew. He merged his dominance. Barton's inner fight is over, so he easily finished the screenplay about the victorious Charles, the common man. Detectives come for an inspection, but Charles also illuminates them with his instinct of violence, and he burns down the hotel, which symbolizes Barton's inner world. Here's detectives could be a sense of conscience that comes after murders. And then Barton goes to dance to celebrate the finished creative work. At the celebration, he is constantly shouting that I am the creator. These shots end with a punch thrown at him by the real world. And we enter another tunnel through the trumpet. With the punch out of reality, the lover consciousness loses its dominance. And then Barton brings his finished screenplay to the producer. The screenplay is written by the inner reality. It does not fit what Hollywood wants. Outer reality wants different criteria. Producer does not like the screenplay and he says, you are not the property of Capitol Pictures anymore. So outer reality completely take over the control of Barton Fink. Barton Fink's gift box, which contains Audrey's severed head, is his ego, which failed to balance and was defeated. Barton is sitting on the beach with the gift box. There's a surprise. The painting of a woman lying on the beach is the only real scene in the movie. Other parts are completely a dream. It reminds the definition of Freud about dreams. We can tell this from the wave sounds Barton's heard in his room. Also, there are a lot of shoes in the front of the rooms in Los Angeles hotel. It's a crowded hotel, but there is no one around except Charlie and Barton. And as he mentioned in the movie, there is no flies in Los Angeles, but Barton cannot get rid of fly bites. The painting may be a symbol for the Freud's oceanic feeling phrase, a kind of eternity and heaven. But I'm not good at that subject. Ethan Cohen says the painting gave Barton a sense of solace, a windowless hotel that represents the confusion in his head. It's Barton's only escape in a kind of isolated place. The movie is full of subtext, so the video gets longer. I read many reviews. The complicated structure of the movie is getting more complicated by the critics' fancy sentences. So I try to make it simple and easy. I will not tell the other secrets of the movie, but you may find them with this basic. Thank you for being here and enjoy watching.